But you'll notice that when I was playing, you never saw me finger the whole bar chord, and you never saw me just playing block chord changes. I don't play the block chord changes because the acoustic guitar and the bass, and if there were other instruments on here, if I was playing with a piano player, they're kind of already establishing the chord. So there's really no need for the electric guitar player to just double it. Instead, the approach that I take is I'm trying to kind of fill in the gaps and just add some more depth and dimension to the song. And I accomplish that with the effects. The delay helps. And also by the way I'm playing. So let's talk about that. During the verse, I was playing very little because it's dynamically the lowest point in the song, and this is when the singers would begin singing. And there's no singing on the track, but as I composed these parts, I was considering what the vocals would do, trying not to be too busy during the vocal parts, and then playing a little bit more during the spaces where I know the vocals take a break. So at the beginning, what I was doing is just kind of swelling into some notes and just kind of letting them sustain. Sounds really nice with the delay. It gives it that kind of depth, or that atmosphere, as I like to call it. And what I'm doing is I'm just visualizing the chord shapes, right? I'm visualizing the caged shapes. There's the A, there's the E, F sharp minor, and D. But instead of fretting the whole chord, I'm just kind of picking some notes from each shape as I go, just kind of swelling into them. Here's A. This is part of the E chord. F sharp. D. I'm just mixing it up. Back to A, E, D. Sometimes I like to let a note ring through a measure or two. Maybe come in a little off time, because again, I don't want to sound like I'm just doubling the chord changes. I want to sound like I'm really kind of playing around things. Although to practice this technique, it's not a bad idea to begin with, to just practice following the chord changes, swelling in on a note at the beginning of each measure on beat 1, you know. It's A, E, F sharp minor, D, then A, E, D. It goes straight to D the second time. So I have all of this charted out with the lyrics, so look that up. Anyway, you can experiment and just play around. During the next section of the song, things step up a little bit dynamically. And so my activity increases, and I'm doing a little palm muting, and I'm kind of following, maybe outlining the chords a little bit more here. So I'm playing the root A, and then a fifth, and then just following. You know, here's the A chord, here's the part of the E chord. I go back to this for the F sharp. I end up creating like an F sharp minor 7. Then I add my ring finger. That's part of the D. So A, E, A, D. And then we hit the chorus. And for the chorus, this is where the song is really driving, so I tried to drive the guitar part here. And I'm also using a pedal tone technique. Sounds like this. A pedal tone is a note that remains stationary while other things are changing around it. So my track has got the chord changes, and what I did is I just played A and its fifth E, and I just held those notes through the chord changes. And this is a very, very common pedal tone technique. To take your tonic, to take the root chord in the progression, to play its root and its fifth, and to just hold those notes and sustain them over the progression. It's extremely common with a 1-5-6-4 progression, even 1-4-5 type chord progressions, and you hear this not only in contemporary Christian music, you hear it in Green Day, U2 of course use this, The Edge use this technique all the time. You hear it in all kinds of popular music. So I'm playing the root A and a fifth E, it's like a power chord, playing another fifth down here. And by the way, when you think about the caged shapes as you're following the chords, don't just think about the bar chord shape. Think about the whole arpeggio pattern. Because you can target any of those notes. So I'm holding this pedal tone over the A and the E and the F sharp. I could have held it over the D too. It's got a really neat sound. Sometimes guitar players will just strum on it, sometimes they'll pick it. Really creates some depth and dimension and really gives a chord some more color, because what you end up doing is basically adding extensions to the basic chords, you know. You've got an A, and then when the chord changes to E and you're holding these notes, you create an E suspended sound. And the chord changes to F sharp, and this makes like an F sharp minor 7. And then on the D it makes a D add 9. So just by this simple technique, you end up making some more complex chords and producing a richer sound. So I'm holding that pedal tone over the A, the E, and the F sharp. I do switch to D at the end. And then I put a little scale run in there, which brings me back to A. When the chords repeat, I've got A, I do not pedal tone, I go to the E, which I can do just by lifting my middle finger here. I play a little bit of the melody. I actually just playing a note of F sharp and walking down the scale to D. Because the chord changes at that point go F sharp, E, D. So you could actually start at any note of F sharp and just walk down the scale and hit D, you know? So that's how I play through the chorus. You can mix it up and do different things. And then after this chorus, I just played a little bit of a guitar solo and just showed you how I approach this. So again, I stayed in this position because I just wanted to illustrate how you can apply everything right here in this little position. And by the way, I really favor this position, playing over a C4 bar chord, using major scale pattern 3, pentatonic pattern 4. So I use this quite a bit. I think it works really well for 1-5-6 5, 6, 4 chord progressions because everything's in this little tight box. And there's many times where I'll play a whole song in this one position. And if another song is in a different key, I just will switch it to a different fret and just produce the same patterns and stuff. So.